Good.
Nice, I can record now as well.
Yeah. But after the meeting, it will record it on your local drive.
Right. That's okay. I'll upload it to the YouTube.
Okay. You have access? Did you check?
Yeah, I checked earlier, so it's okay. I'm just waiting for Louis.
Yeah, Louis to show up.
Oh, it wants a passcode.
It's in it. It's fine. Yeah, it says that. Password is in the URL at the end. Password ML32UE.
Yeah. What's this? Wait, I can. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Hello.
We're back.
Hello. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. I guess.
I see it.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. What were we talking about?
QR codes to get data and to set the access point.
Access
Dimming
points.
screens.
Dimming screen. Yeah, so the various settings that we have, we can discuss at some point. I think for now, let's just go through the flow again. So we have the startup, we enter the drive mode. From the drive mode, we can go to survey, and then from survey we can go back to drive with the same button. Then we get the second button is then the fixed mode, which is currently just fixed. I don't really know a second screen you would want for fixed. We can think of something. And then the third button would be a settings page, where if you land there, you can see the current settings or like the important settings or the settings that you most important settings, I guess, and maybe then the QR code if it's small enough to go to the data. I think that's a fine place for the QR code actually.
And one other thing is what I often have issues with the bGeigieZen Nano. If we could implement something like a drive upload directly from here, if it's connected to the Wi-Fi. So because then you don't have to take out the SD card and then copy it, and that would be wonderful if we can do that. I think we should be able to do that.
Yeah, because we got the API key, and there's an endpoint for uploading a complete file.
Yeah.
Drive. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
there is a bot for automatically kind of AI with small software that checks for if it's within the acceptable limits, and then it will automatically approve it. If it's not, it has to be manually done. But basically, that would save a lot of work for people. It makes it much easier.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But where do we want to implement it? At Drive or?
I think perhaps that could be a second screen for fixed, because in fixed you're already connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So let me just.
What we can even do is have not QR code. That would make sense. No.
But I'm just wondering how. One of the things when I'm uploading a drive, I'm always worried: am I duplicating a drive that I've already put up there? Sort of thinking some sort of a screen that shows your recent, like the most recent drives, and then a little check mark if it's been uploaded, or some sort of little status code.
No, don't worry about that. The API, if it gets two of the same log files coming in, it will compare them and then take the newest one.
Okay.
There's a logic in there, so you cannot do the double.
Okay, good.
So
that,
then what we could do is, so on this screen, upload drive, to still work with the 3 buttons. I think if we are on the upload drive page, then we could say something like long press to upload latest
yes, that's a very good one.
drive.
Yeah.
And then perhaps like log file name or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Some
something
sort
like
of-
To
that.
let them know like this is what you're uploading.
Yes.
And maybe size. We can count the
Size or
lines.
size, yeah, size or number of data points. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe like 2 megabytes of data with 5 million lines of data points. Very nice. We can upload that.
Can we do that? I mean, in the code wise, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
well, I think we should be able to like we at this point we already have to open the SD card or
That's
like
true.
read the log to send it. And we can just count the lines and we know what how big the log is, the log file. So we can show some information here, but I would say we just show the latest log. So not like if you have like multiple logs, you can only upload the latest. At least for the first alpha version, for also
Yes,
supporting
that's a good
4.1,
idea.
because we only have a few buttons. We could, of course, go with this kind of design, perhaps a little bit different, where we have way more room for either more screens or more options per screen. Like, as you can see here, like there's a button. We can always have like a button to go back, and then the other 2 buttons could be some other options, of course, and then you can just go back.
Because that's basically unlimited this way.
Yes, so
it's not as fast as the way the second design is. I think the second design is very fast, very simple. I prefer that.
The second design is so that you can't really get lost. And I was thinking like we can have something like this, where let's say if you're on the dashboard and you go to the survey mode, then there's only one button to go back to the drive mode, and then the other 2 buttons are free. Like
other things, yes, not for navigating. That's a good idea.
You could even like change something on the screen or do an action.
But you can even go down to another screen if you want to.
Yeah, but then it's easy.
Yeah, you lose it again. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that this dashboard, what we see dashboard there, or the drive mode in the new one, would be like your home screen.
Yes.
From which you go either into survey mode or off to the side to fixed mode, and so on. So, right.
Yeah, well, one way the third design, it makes more sense.
Yep.
The third.
I like that one.
Well, it's just well, okay. In case that these are now switched, something like this. So this is config. Cogwheel. Although I'm just thinking, like we currently have the buttons really small and just some text. If we make them bigger, it takes more up in the screen. I'm not sure if we can fit like a cogwheel icon, but maybe we can.
On the if we have the buttons in the core one, we can make text under it. I mean,
text. But I mean, if we want the icon, but that's something we can see.
Yeah.
I think maybe first version could just be like settings.
Yeah,
it's fine. And then we can play with that.
It'd be interesting to do a mock-up of all those screens and then hand it to somebody and just see what they think.
They make a survey.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, I can. I hope I can do that this week then. Make it and see what other people think.
right.
I'll just fill in the things here.
Mhm.
Config. This is fixed. And config. Oh, fixed. This all goes to fixed. Though, kind of depends. This is drive. Drive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is config. And
Yeah.
this is server. Well, it's just called server now, but
Okay.
so that goes to the config server.
Right
I'll
down
have
below
to,
too.
how do you like this? No?
Would you call it not access point or server?
Access point. Well, access point is a bit technical, but we can, of course.
That's true.
I mean, we have to think of names for these anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just call it server for now. Access point. Upload drive. Yeah, I wonder, maybe we can like
So one of the,
move.
so one of those in upload drive, which button would you long press to upload?
the drive. Well, this is not drive, by the way. This is okay. This is going back to.
That would be upload.
Well, yeah. So it would say like long press on fixed for upload. Although
No, I
that's
would.
kind of the
Mm.
thing, because what we could do is like remove these. Let's just remove these. Because I think this is a better.
Let's drive. Yes.
So this could be better. That's kind of what I was saying here. So you just have one button to go back.
Yes.
So you still can't get lost because, well, if you're on the survey, you can only go back to drive. And if you're
Okay.
on fixed, yeah, this is, we could still have some other things, but
Well, yeah, but you still need a button there to okay, upload there. Okay.
yeah,
Good.
so we could
Yeah.
do something like this, which is no issue, of course.
Yeah, but it is
Um,
strange for me. For me, it doesn't make sense. If you have the left button drive and the other one is I would have the left button go to fix.
Oh yeah, I see. And then
And
maybe
then
maybe
upload the
put
other ones.
right.
The left button always goes back in the subpage.
right.
Yeah, so that we can indeed do it like that then. So that would be a design choice.
Yes.
Right.
I have no
Okay.
problems.
So
with
so
that.
in that bottom middle, fixed would be the left button,
Yes.
Yes.
and then
I think so too.
upload.
We can use the other buttons for things, and the other one goes back to the.
Yeah.
I would say settings.
Same with config actually. So we
Yeah.
can have like show
Accept or something or show or
Show QR, yeah.
yeah.
to like if it's too big, like because these direct connect to the access point QRs are bigger than like a small URL, or not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But then
Okay.
you can just click on there and then you switch to the QR.
The toggles.
And then we have like just then show info. I don't know. I'll just
Mhm.
so you can like toggle between
Back
these
here.
two with this, and then
Yeah.
this will always go back to the top
Top.
page. So once you're done like configuring through the server, You go back to config, you can see the things you have applied, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can go back to either drive or fixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to add that, but we need on the display in the drive, we need the battery too. I forgot to mention that. Battery
Oh
status.
yeah. I think the battery will be on all pages.
Oh, it could be in all, yeah.
Mhm.
Where did?
Yeah, we should have something that's always on the page.
Yeah. Okay. So each page. Do we call them pages or screens or
Screen, I would say. Oh, Louis, what do you think is better, screen or page?
or another word? View.
I-
View is
Flip a
also-
coin. I don't know. Whatever we choose, just be consistent. I would say screen.
Yeah. That's why sometimes I say page, sometimes screen, sometimes view. So I just want to be consistent, and so
Screen, I would go for.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just. Yep.
Maybe version number, small at the bottom, I would say, and safecast copyright or something like that. I prefer to have that on there, so you can any
guess,
screen
yeah.
that is for safecast. I think
We
that
can
is-
also put like the version number in like the settings.
Yes, I like that too.
And then you get like a clean screen with like only the most important data.
Okay, that's also an
I
idea.
mean, it's an option. I'm not saying we should be doing that, but
No.
But yeah, the copyright should be there, but the version number should
Okay.
be on the boot
Yeah, it should not be
screen.
there. Yeah, copyright.
And yeah, it should be a boot screen because you can always go back to the boot screen. Just power off, power on again, reset it.
yeah, but the boot screen, I think Rob mentioned like 2 weeks ago, like a splash
Sure.
screen is not really what we want anymore.
Yeah.
But I still kept it in,
Well-
and it's currently 1 second, so it's
Yeah, I think, Rob, I don't know if I'm misreading you, but I thought your objection was that it was so long.
Sure.
right.
Even a second can be too long for me.
Okay,
Can be. I think a second is fine. I got my bootloader with like if I start up my laptop, it's 1 second. Some people
Okay.
want to skip it. I still want to see it, but sometimes I want to start something else like save mode or
Can you
boot
stop it,
screen.
the boot screen? So if you
That's
want to
an
read
idea.
more,
On here.
Yeah, we could put a pause.
Well, maybe like if you press a button, then it
Press the
yeah,
button, just
then
pause.
it stays. That will be useful. So if people want to see it long, they can see it long. If they want to read all the details, that's good. And maybe
Yeah.
if something is wrong, we should label it red. It's very, very clear. For example, no SD card should not be yellow. Should be red or some more.
Yeah, but
more
no SD card will be a separate screen.
Mhm.
Like it's basically
warning screen. Yes.
it's basically here like draw an arrow. Whoop. All right, well, no SD card.
Mhm.
Or we also have the
Or maybe we can even have. Can we have a battery low there? If there is a battery low before you start up, then you know what you're doing. Another warning.
Well, I think on every screen there's already a battery level.
Yeah, you can
So
just
we
change
can
if it's
already make it red.
different color if it's low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also
Oh, that's
this
a
is
good
also
point.
something I want to discuss. Like,
Yeah.
what do
No,
we want to do with the SD card? because there's this safecast.txt with
Mhm.
some initial config, but what exactly is on the SD card?
On
And
the
what
SD, there's what kind of tubes are being used. The alarm is there. There is an ID.
yeah,
The
the
ID
ID
from
is
that's
most
very
important, I think. But the alarm you can also set through the settings in the server.
yeah, but that comes from the Nano. We want to be completely backwards compatible with the Nano. So if we put a Nano in it, then it still gets the reading from there.
You mean if you put SD from the Nano in the
Yeah.
Zen?
Mhm. Now the
But
question is, can you change it? If because in the Nano, if you want to change it, you have to pull out the SD card, edit the text file. With the Zen, you have the option of writing, or rewriting the file. Do you want to do that from config, or do you want to make it fixed that you can't basically lock it down like the Nano?
Yeah, that's a different thing to consider.
I would say
I
just
think what's useful?
I would say
But my thing is that with the SD card, keep it the way it is for the Nano,
simpler.
simpler, and then just read it from that's all. And then for the data, write to it. That's all.
Okay, so we also have this. Well, it's not really a screen, but it's like an edge case where, as you were saying, like if you have a new Zen, you put in the SD card from your Nano, but then it would also have the Nano ID, right?
Yes.
Do the Zen?
Oh, wait a second. Yes, we have. That's true. We have to think about that because we have different numbers for the Zen. The Zen number starts at 5,000, I think. They
Right.
are we can keep track on them, and in the bGeiggie tracker we have numbers for them.
So maybe a warrant,
So
and maybe a check in the Zen software or firmware that if the code is not in the 5,000 plus, it would error out and say, sorry, wrong ID or something like that.
yeah, but then
Like,
it's already not backwards compatible.
Yeah, that's correct.
So do
well,
we
wait a
then
second.
like the settings that you would put on the SD card, which are now for the Nano, including the ID? If you already have to write a new ID, do you also like still need those settings?
That's
Again, what I was
Mm.
thinking, like, okay, let's say we do have settings on the SD card, and we can
Zen setting.
say, like you get here if there isn't SD card with settings, but your Zen is still like empty, basically, or maybe reset it, which is also an extra feature. How do I think about it?
Yeah, I think that is a
I'll
good
get to
idea.
that.
I like
Just,
that. Yeah,
so as I was
yeah.
saying, like if if the Zen is empty, so it doesn't have any configurations yet, and your SD card does have configurations, the SD card will then, well, in this case, support all the settings available that you can also set in the access point.
Except the idea.
Except the ID?
Yeah, you shouldn't take the idea from the SD card.
No, we will, I guess. Or is it not on the SD card then?
No. The thing is, that's the idea from the Nano.
No,
If you put
I mean we got a whole new SD card setting because it's not backwards compatible.
So what we can do, we can take two. So you have, let's say, the safecast.txt, and we can have a save zen.txt. And then we can do our own settings in there. Then we are still backward compatible and we can compare them.
But what does the safecast.txt do then for the Zen? Because it doesn't do anything.
user ID, the name.
Yeah, but
You can,
if you already have to make a new file, you can still.
that's true.
So that's what I was saying. But I was talking about a different scenario here, where your Zen does not have any configurations yet, but
So brand new, right?
so your Zen is brand new,
No, no, it's good
and
point.
you have an SD card because you get it with your Zen, I think.
Yeah.
And there's already some configurations in there. But if you don't
Mhm.
want to configure it through the access point, you can still put all the configurations for your Zen on your SD card,
That's true.
and we can just read it. And the moment that we read, so we boot, we see that the Zen is currently empty because the local storage is empty.
Mhm.
It will then copy the settings from the SD card, and then the storage is filled. If there's an ID in the storage, then it will not take any more settings from the SD card. So that's also a plus if you want to reset your Zen. You can just reset it. I was thinking like long press this one of these, or maybe there's an extra button here like reset. We can do something like
Yeah,
that.
all the configuration erased. Yes.
Right. And then if you reboot the Zen, it will read everything from the SD card again. So
Yeah,
it's
that
not,
makes sense. Yes,
it's
I
like
like
a
that.
reset to your own factory settings based on the SD card. And I think that's a nice bonus actually, because normally if you completely do a complete reset, you have to set all the settings again. But you can also reset to your own initial settings, which are on the SD card. Plus, you can also just change the SD card settings,
Yeah.
then reset your Zen,
Yeah.
And
and
force a
then
reread.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you could technically change your settings without ever connecting directly to the access point,
Mhm.
which
Yeah, I
is
like
an
that.
extra
That's a good
feature.
idea.
Like if people don't have a mobile or a laptop without Wi-Fi, but still a SD card reader, or like a PC, I don't know, then you can still set your settings. I think that's a big plus as well.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And then you don't have the issue that if you always do that, you override your settings that you put through the access point. So that we can kind of fix that by only doing this if the reset, if it's a clean Zen. So I think
Yeah,
that's kind of nice to have.
and if we have a special text file for the Zen, then we can do other things in there too. We can, for example, the Wi-Fi settings can be in there too.
Yes, exactly. So basically all the settings are available. And then I want to talk about this empty SD card. So if your Zen does have settings, but you just bought a new SD card, if you put in a new SD card, you'll get the message like, oh, you have an empty SD card. Would you like to write a new like a new save zen.txt file to your SD card for future use? It will just copy all the settings that you have on your Zen to the new SD card.
Yeah.
That's like a backup of your settings, basically, because if you then
like
reset, reload, loads everything. So I think that's a nice thing, nice feature to have as well.
You understand, Louis? Thank you.
I'm just right. I'm trying to scribble as fast as I can here.
Okay.
Don't ask me to reread my own writing, but that's
But you can listen to the recording we made.
true.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I guess my own little bit of confusion still is how do we make sure that the Zen has the right ID number in those scenarios.
Yeah, so that's, I think in the boot screen or in the boot, like the startup state, we read the SD card. And if it's not empty, so if there's no SD card, you go into here. If it's empty, you go into here. If it's empty and your Zen is clear, then it's
Well, that's where it
also
stops.
here, but you wouldn't have the write option. But if there is an ID, we can just check if is the ID like more than 5,000 and less than 6,000, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And then we know that it's a valid valid Zen. I guess if we are in the no SD card mode, we could technically say, I want to continue without SD card. If there is already like a Zen ID
local storage
settings, like everything in the local storage available, you can run it without SD card. Like you don't get logs, but you can still use the handheld, you can still use the fixed mode, but you can't upload anything. And you can do drives, but it doesn't log anything. So, but you can use the Bluetooth.
We have 5,000 till 7,000, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, but we can do some checks on that.
Yeah.
And of course, we can, when writing to the settings, also do checks like it has to be within a specific range. So, but is it an idea to be able to run like without SD card? Because I think Rob, you mentioned that it's not.
Yeah, I think so. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit dangerous. I mean, I'm looking at my digital camera, and there's a setting that it does not operate if it doesn't have an SD card, because obviously you're not going to record any of your pictures.
Right.
So I would defer that one for later. Just because.
Well, technically, you could take out the SD card after booting up at the moment.
True.
Yeah. No, but that's useful, because at the moment, the way Robin made it, you cannot continue.
Yeah, I have the same currently.
Because people want to be able to just use it as a Geiger counter, not record anything.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think getting this screen, there's no SD card, and maybe some information like you cannot.
Are you sure?
Record logs.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically it. You cannot drive logs.
That's it.
And yeah, you can still put it on fixed mode, no problem.
True.
If there's Wi-Fi,
True.
you can do that. So you can still do a lot without SD card, unlike like a digital camera.
Yeah, but it needs to have that local storage initialized prior to running without the SD card.
So if there is no Zen settings either, then you would get you get a different screen again. So I don't know. I'll just.
Yeah, that's fine.
No SD card, no Zen setting. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Is also an option, and that's a dead end. Like there's no okay. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Well, probably like a reboot, restart. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just put it in any button, but we can have like okay, no, or like if it's empty in their settings, we can have like a write or cancel, and then it shuts down again, for example. Or same as this, like there's an SD card but no Zen, you can just say read or cancel or shut down, basically. So then we have all the states, I think. Okay. Yep. That's cool. So I'll just draw some arrows here. So the survey goes to the survey. The fixed goes to the fixed. That's probably do that with colors, I think. So this one, there's no button. Whoop.
Oh, be careful. The link.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like I updated some of the code. Screen. There's like a draw button now. And you can also draw no buttons or like an empty button, and then it doesn't show. So you can, for example, on the no SD card screen at the moment, there's only the first button, which is then restart, as you can see here.
Yeah.
So
there's also an API call for ignoring any presses in that hot zone.
Okay. Yeah, but that wouldn't be an issue here because we can just not handle the event. There's no issue.
True.
Which is, well, currently all 3 buttons do the restart, but this was just to test the button function. That works. Yeah, I haven't pushed this yet, so this is still a work in progress, but it works. So. I'll do some more work tomorrow. I'm not sure what part. I kind of want to work on the screen, like these scenarios that we have like different functions to render these different screens. Also, now that the Geiger counter is implemented and the GPS is implemented, that's basically all the workers. So we can implement the settings, the API connector, Bluetooth connector, and then we have the handlers. So that's nice. I think that's all.
Yeah, I think so.
And well, there's some other things I want to add as well, like some different workers. Like I want to add a worker which is also a handler. And that worker or the handler will read the data from the Geiger counter and the GPS and will combine them to one log or one string, basically. So it's like a logger creator, actually. And then the API and the Bluetooth and the SD card handlers will use that worker instead of multiple different workers, because that one worker will then always produce a single complete reading, like, with all the data. So that's something I got in mind at the moment.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Perhaps I'm gonna add the. By the way, I updated the sensor network or the sensor reporter library, and it's now on platform IO.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. Where's if we go to sensor reporter, there we go. Oh, cool.
There we go.
Okay. Yay. Over